this is Alex with SAT Question Bank Study and Survey. We're going to go ahead and do the Systems of Equations file now. The College Board keeps adding questions and it's starting to run away from me with the other function stuff. So I'm just going to move on to a new topic and start doing small bits. If you have any specific questions that you'd like to request, go ahead and drop them down into the chat or into the comments below, and I will be happy to go back through things. I'm just going to scroll up here to my earlier notes because this is the second time I'm recording this video. We're going to be doing linear systems. We have some definitions that we need to be aware of. The standard form ax plus by equals c is going to be one that is commonly encountered here. A is just a coefficient of x, b is just a coefficient of y, and c is a constant number over here. It's just some number for each one of those. Negative a divided by b is going to give us the slope. This is not the same as slope-intercept form, right? So slope-intercept form gives us y equals mx plus b. And you'll know, hopefully, that m is the slope there. But this is not the same arrangement. It is different. So in this arrangement, negative a divided by b gives us the slope. C divided by b gives us the y-intercept. So those are some definitions that we're going to want to hold on to. We have some other definitions here. Infinite solutions means the lines are parallel. Or sorry, they're not parallel. They have same slope, same y-intercept. Why is that getting bigger? Just go that way. Same y-intercept. And then no solution just means same slope, different y-intercept. Perpendicular means opposite reciprocal slopes, which is what this line here is demonstrating. So negative a over b is the original slope. The perpendicular slope is b over a. You flip the numbers over and change it from a negative to a positive or a positive to a negative. I've already done the first two questions. If you're watching the stream, I will go ahead and just continue on to this one, ranked 3 difficulty, rightfully so. Look at that monster. We'll expand that to get the whole thing on the screen here. So in the system of equations, p is constant. That just tells us it's a number. Don't freak out when you see that. It just means it's some number, some specific number. We don't know what it is. We might be able to find it, but we don't care. If the system has no solution, what is the value of p? Remember that no solution means that these two lines are parallel. They have the same slope. And so, one of the things that I show my students, and I will show you now, this is question 1705, we are going to isolate the terms that we care about. And what do I mean by that? Well, I'll show you. Zoom out here, make sure that we can see what I'm doing. All right, so I'm just going to copy them down real quick. 3 halves y, and then we got 1 half x plus 3 halves y equals py plus 9 halves. So because these two functions have the same slope, we don't actually care about these numbers here, because what are those numbers going to do for us with respect to the slope? Remember that in standard form, the slope is determined by the coefficients of x and y. This number out here only gave us the y-intercept, so I don't actually care about that number. If the key to success on this one, as we already articulated, is finding the slopes and setting them equal, because that's what it means to have no solution, we find the slope of this first one that only has x's and y's in it. Then we find the slope of this second one in terms of p, and then we can set those two things equal to each other. So let's go ahead and combine terms in the first row here. I'll go ahead and use another color. Combining terms in the first row, we're going to add 3 halves to the left here. We're going to get 6 halves, which is 3 y minus 1/4 x equals 0, because we're ignoring the constant term. And using the definition of negative a over b, a is actually this number here attached to the x, and b is that number there attached to the y. Negative a over b in this case is going to give us 1/4 divided by 3. You have to be pretty good with fractions here. Dividing a fraction by a number, you just multiply the denominators and you get 1/12. So that's our slope. We're going to hold on to that number. The next expression here gives us 1/2 x plus 3. Oh, I wrote a 2 there. That's supposed to be a 2. Pardon me. We don't care about that number either, actually. So we can cross this guy out. And this is really easy then. 1/2 x equals py. We can ignore the constant terms and ignore the whole numbers. Getting the slope here, well, I could just divide the p over and get 1 over 2p. X equals y. That's slope-intercept form, so of course the slope there is 1 over 2p. Remembering here that we had 1/12. 1/12 equals 1 over 2p. Well, you could cross multiply, but you could also just look. The numerators are the same. The denominators must be equal if these things are equal, so p is 6. That indeed is a very tricky question. Moving right along, we've got an easy difficulty. Nice little break after that tough one. 1, 2, 3, AF. Nice number there for our question. It's a system of equations again, surprise, surprise. I don't read any of this. I go straight to the question down here before reading any of that. Which of the following system of equations, if x represents the price of the shirts, y is the price of the pants. So which one is it? Well, if x is shirts, it says they purchased 4 shirts. So 4x makes a lot of sense. 2 pairs of pants, 2y. All right, that narrows it down to either A or C. $86 for 4 and 2, so it's going to be A. You just read for what you need, but you have to know what you need. You identify the scope of the question first on those. Big long paragraph thing, just jump to the end. Easy peasy. All right, we got EB6E, EB6E. And again, if I'm not doing any questions that you hope to see, just leave a comment down below or shoot me a message with the one that you'd like with the code, and I will look it up. Solution to the given is that. What is x plus y? Do make sure that you're noting that we're not looking for x, we're not looking for y, we want x plus y. They made it really easy to find x there. You can divide the 5 over, and of course x is going to be equal to 3 here. Then we plug that in, we get negative 12 plus y equals negative 2. Adding the 12 over, we get y equals 10. Now we're not done. They want x plus y, so that's going to be 13. See, you do have to have algebraic fluency to master this exam. If what I just did seemed like magic to you, that means that you need to go back and practice your algebra skills. Balancing equations, isolating a term, these are prerequisites to being able to do this. Here we've got a graph, another easy ranked one. What are we doing on time? About 10 minutes. All right. So we've got a horizontal line here. We've got a slanted line there. What is the solution to the system? Well, the solution is just where they intersect. So that's 2, 3. That's C. Sometimes it is that easy. They are just looking for the definition of something. And you got to have that fluency, the mathematical fluency of the terms. You got B6A. Okay. Can you guys see that whole thing there? Go ahead and make it bigger. Company provides 21 people at a time. Revenue is $80 for adults, $60 per child. So they're not giving us the equation, but they do give it to us in words. So $80 for adults plus $60 for children equals the total revenue for each trip, and each trip can only have 21 people. And that's going to be 1440 there, I see. So pause and think about where these numbers came from. 80A plus 60C equals 1440. I have the price times the number of people, plus the price for this category times the number of people equals the total cost, the price, money. And then we have the total number of people added up to the limit they give us. And then they want how many were children, which we were represented by the variable c. You could plug this into a calculator now and solve this, but it's not that hard to do a system of equations here and eliminate. Multiplying the 80 through, we get 80a plus 80c equals 100 and what? No, that would be 80 times 2 is 160, or 1680. All right, now we can subtract going up or down. Yeah, subtract going up. The 80s cancel out. We get 20c equals 240. Divide this 20 over, and we get 12, which is, funny enough, C. Again, I was talking about prerequisites. You have to have good multiplication and division skills to do well with the SAT. If you're struggling with what I just demonstrated, think about how fluent you are with your multiplication and division skills. You may just need to spend time doing the reps and putting in the time to get fluent with your multiplication table so you free up your brain space to think about the higher level math skills. So we get this next one, level 2 difficulty again. Y equals 20x, y equals 8x. Where do they intersect? Well, just set them equal to each other. X plus 20 equals 8x. Combining like terms, I could subtract x over and get 20 equals 7x. Divide that over. Oh, it's not asking where do they intersect. They're asking at how many points. Aha, that's why this is a level 2 difficulty. Because people are going to get to this step and be like, well, I don't see my answer there. I don't know what to do. So they're going to pick 2. But if you read the question, they're not asking where does it intersect. They're asking at how many points. These, of course, being lines, the maximum is 1. It could be 0, but they'd have to be parallel. But they are not parallel. So the answer is B. They intersect 1 time. We'll do one more. Okay, we've got another level 2 difficulty. Actually, you know what? For our last one, we'll find a level 3 difficulty here. Here we go. In the given system of equations, t is constant. Again, remember, constant just means it's a number. Don't be afraid of that. It has no solution. Remember, no solution means these guys are parallel. We got question code D744. We got 4x minus 6y equals 10y. I'm going to go ahead and ignore the plus 2 here, because again, all I care about are the slopes, and these numbers are going to give me the slope. We've got ty equals, I'm going to ignore the 1/2, 2x. All right, so if I combine like terms in the first expression there, we get 4x equals 16y. Here's a neat SAT trick. Notice that this number here is exactly twice as big as that number here, and otherwise these expressions are identical. 4x equals 16y, 2x equals something y. Think about it. If I just multiply this by 2, we get to that expression. So t times 2 is 16, meaning t is 8. Neat little shortcut. You could do some regular math there. You could divide, like get the slope, 4 over 16. Get the slope there, 2 over t, and get that expression written out. And then you could cross multiply. That's a lot more steps. I'm trying to get you to understand that if you have mathematical fluency, you don't have to do all the steps. You can see the next step before it even happens, just like playing chess. If you know what to expect and you reduce your cognitive load, you can look for these upper level techniques. Thank you for watching today. Hope you learned something. Again, if you have any questions that you'd like me to demonstrate or go through, please just drop that code in as a comment, and I will try to get to it as soon as I can. Thank you for watching.